Yo, what's up, everybody? It's the market recap. If you're sick of me, I'm sorry, I'm back. All right, Qualcomm is now out. What a day that was, man. We've got a refreshed water right here. Shout out to everybody that's here. Let's just do a bang for that day. What a great day. I was just telling Brendan, like, some of those moves there at the end were quite dramatic, and we had a few of them, man. We'll go 6 for 6 into the Fed, so that was pretty good there, after the Fed, I should say. But here's Qualcomm. Qualcomm is now out. Qualcomm goes up to 154 and change and falls back. We are brought to you by, I'm going to try to slow down a little bit because we're still on that high from trading. So woosah. Let's bring it down just a couple levels here right now. Qualcomm beats 275 versus 237. What we do on this show is we don't actually, that's my bad. I didn't even have time to adjust that. That's the wrong rundown, Brendo. You just got to put different names on there. Fabian. Just put Bretcher there instead of Shannon and fix those names. Neil can help you. Okay, that's my bad. It's not Microsoft or AMD. It's going to be Qualcomm, and we're doing it right now. I was way too busy at the end of the day. It's the second or third tab on the left. Brendan's got it. Don't worry about it, Neil. All right, let's go on the show here. I screwed up again. All right, Qualcomm beats. But you know what? Looking at these numbers, and what we're going to do on the show is we'll just talk about guidance. We'll talk about where the stock's going, possible some key levels. We'll have Chris coming on. He wants to talk about some SMCI options that he currently has or did have. But there's Qualcomm. We're going to try to bring you all of the live numbers as soon as they come through on the Benzinga platform. I'll have them for you. We also are brought to you by Trade Ideas. And Trade Ideas is pretty cool because we have these scanners ready to go right here. So we'll refresh that and we'll refresh this and we'll push play and we'll push play. Any dramatic movements here, we'll start to see these races go. Another cool feature there. I don't know why that's all timed out, but another cool feature with Trade Ideas. All right. Wow, what a good day, man. The Fed stays put. The thing about it is we knew that was going to be the case. Give me a second. I'm going to call up the CME Fed rate tool because we can go over what happened today. UNG up 1.2. But if you're looking at here, we only have 3 things that were up today. These are sectors, right? You've got Nat Gas. You've got TLT, which is the Treasury, obviously with NASDAQ falling down. Then we have UUP, which is the dollar. Every other sector was red today. Only 3 up. Nat Gas, who cares? TLT, which talked about Treasury, that's a sector, but it's more just, watching your money, fixed income, and then the dollar slightly up as well. Everything else bleeding. And you know why? Because we didn't talk with Jerome. This got changed. This used to be 50-50 for March. Jerome came out and threw some shade on that, saying potentially no rate cut in March. We've talked about this. Again, rewind on the podcast. We said there could be trouble brewing if the numbers stay strong. We talked about full employment right now. That's happening. He talked about inflation getting that 2 number. That's happening. PCE back in line. Oil. We don't have anything to worry about oil. Oil's near lows. Wow, it's battled back. But still, every time you're at the pump, you don't feel so bad anymore. So maybe the economy just needs to go into cruise control. What about, you know what? The more I think about this, what about KBH right now, or KHB? Where are we right here? There it is, the KHB. So this stock, again, look at this hit since Powell talked about that. As soon as that came out of Brendan's mouth, I should have gone over to housing because I gave that example of if you got a mortgage and you're looking to refinance, that maybe got pushed out. Look at the housing sector right now, downside. This is home builders, but again, if we get less aggressive rates, like they're hovering, not heading to the downside. So I guess, see you, Neil. If they get a little bit more aggressive on their stance, housing downside. Look at the Qs today. Puke City down 2%. They're at the low of the day. We called that move down. Happy to have that. We will talk about some of those trades. As you can see, Qualcomm, Bretcher, sticky note review, and some of the tweets. Let's go over those as we go. It's the SPY today as well. Let me check out the KRE. We actually, there it is. We had that regional bank. What was it? NYCB today? NYC, yes. New York Community Bank Corp. Whenever you're out on an island, like, look, generally when you're on an island, we like it. You're on there, you got the pina coladas, everything's cool. You're probably with your significant other. The sun is really nice, but not if you're your New York City Bank Corp right now, New York Community Bank Corp. You're on an island down here at $6. So today they come out and disappoint. all the way back to where we were back in disaster with Silicon Valley, First Republic. Is this the next name to go to pink sheets? We're gonna find out. I don't know enough about it yet. We've been looking at big tech names, but there's First Community to the downside. Is that affecting the other bank names? Remember JP Morgan? They were like, okay, we'll take First Republic's dead and all that kind of stuff. And then boom, they're now at all-time highs. Look at Wells Fargo also falling down. I feel like this might be an opportunity to take advantage of some of the banks. So let's go over to the King and see how they traded today. JP Morgan, let's go to a 5-minute chart. We can see a little bit better. Everything pulling back in. I want to take advantage of this move. Brendo and I were just like, hey, this isn't even that big of a move when you break it back down. So let's do that right now. And let's go to the S&P 500. We don't always have to talk NASDAQ. Let's go over to a weekly chart here for the S&P. This is including today. Okay. So, yeah, we are not reloaded yet. This move is not even a move. The S&P down 1.6% today on the SPY. Man, we can get lower. Most of that move just happened in the last hour and a half. So if we think there's pain ahead, you know, let this thing come in a little bit. We'll do the same thing here with the Qs on the weekly. Like, come on, man, like what are we even talking about? This is not the pullback that we're all expecting. If you think that a pullback's inbound, you're gonna have to get the beasts down. You're gonna have to get Microsoft down. I don't think that report was enough. But look what happened today. Ruh-roh, we just went below 400 there. Which dog does that again? Snoopy. Scooby, Snoopy, what? What's up, Charlie Brown? Man, we are still on that high of trading today, by the way. That's 397. So Microsoft comes right in there and hits back into yesterday's bottom. You know what? If Chris Bretchery's not here now, I don't see him in the room, but maybe we'll talk about Microsoft and some possible areas. He just came in? Okay. Shout out to Chris, but he's going to come on. Look at this level for Microsoft. This is interesting for me. If we stay under 400, hey, we used to have a segment called Tomorrow's Trades Today, but then I got limited to only a half hour, which thank God that was probably a good decision because as you saw, I could barely wrap the show up at 455 or 355 there. But anyways, we'll see about Microsoft tomorrow underneath 400. Let's play that short until we're proven wrong. So I think tomorrow's trade is going to be that Microsoft move back up to 400 and then a possible fade back in. Look, tomorrow we have Apple, we have Microsoft, we have Apple, Amazon, and Meta tomorrow. So they're all coming through. And today, man, oh man, did we have some carnage a little bit in the chip names. And by that, I mean, it's a nice pullback in. AMD, obviously this yellow line indicates earnings. Someone tweeted at me, I said realistically, I think a 150 is a decent level there for AMD if we do come in. So we'll watch out for AMD 150. We always want to talk about the king, and that's going to be NVIDIA. This name not really pulling back. I feel kind of maybe bad that we sold a little bit of this. We sold it 10 bucks higher than where it is right now, but maybe just buy this back, man. Like any dips on NVIDIA, this is going to be the name that we want. Their report not coming until February 21st. Quickly on Qualcomm, why everybody's here. And I just want to thank everybody for coming through again. Over 3,800 watching. That's a big number, especially on a day where we don't have many earnings. But Qualcomm shoots the moon here, nicely up to the upside here, 152.75 on top and bottom line beats for Qualcomm, but again, not taking out its past high. So tomorrow we'll look for a 158 break. It's Hydration Nation. Need to get that key over here. These guys are working too hard to keep pushing it. So, all right, it's the SPY, it's the XL, it's XHB. Let me just shout out whoever's here right now because, you know, I just want to thank everybody. Like, we're tired. I mean, we're not really, but we just put in a big day of trading, man, including finishing at the high of the day, hitting some great trades at the end of the day. So I want to just do this real quickly, man. It's an early roll call. All right, what's up, Nunya Biz, man? Today is dividend day for Jeppy. Okay, what's up to that? What's up to David Moore? What's up to For Profit, Jeremy Newman, Todd Carroll? You want a shout out, Todd? There it is, and you're also getting a bang for that as well. Shout out to Todd. We have Pitch Bulls here. The Salty Bear is here. Bear, Bear, Bear. He loves Trader TV. Can't do it without all of you guys today, man. Thank you to Paulie D shouting out me and Neil. How much does a trader make on year on average? Negative. Look, You said on average. The average trader fails. Some people will hide. I don't hide. You know, I've been here with this company 22 years prop trading. Most of the traders that walk in this door walk out 6 months later with negative balances. Most traders fail. I feel blessed that I'm able to sit here every single day and continue to trade with you guys and continue to teach as much as I can. But I'm not going to hold any punches. And honestly, that's why we're here. We're honest with you. Most traders will fail. That's why when I'm rolling out Chris Brecher, when I'm rolling out Brian Shannon, when I'm rolling out JC Peretz, when we're rolling out Michael Noss, when we're rolling out, just keep going, Trader Tammy, Danielle Shea, when we're bringing these all to you, these are all established traders that have been here before. We're not YouTube guys that are going to be like, oh, I just made $57,000 today. Like, yeah, who me? Some will do that, some won't. And I respect those traders if those numbers are real. That's great. But you're not making 50 grand a day without putting some risk on your name. And that's a very, very risky proposition. I'll sit here and scalp. I mean, I'm going on a little bit of a rant here. I understand that. I'll sit here and scalp and show you guys profitable trades day in and day out. If it was up to me, we'd be showing green stocks, red stocks, all of that. But we're not doing that. Ask us in the chat. We're the real ones, and we'll tell you every single day. This is Trader TV Live, baby, and I'm proud of this place. I don't know if you can tell, but we built this. If they build it, you will come, and you did that. So a shout out to everybody here. Thanks for all of that. And hey, we're just being who we are. And if that includes not holding back, then we're not going to hold back. We're not changing. All right, that's Qualcomm. Nice move. What else is moving here in the aftermarket? Qualcomm. QRVO actually came out right now. Qorvo, nice move to the upside here, 106. Let me find out from Ben Zinga what happened right here. Here's Qualcomm. All right, Qualcomm, we're done with you. Here it is right now, just out at 401, and it's a very, very light earning. Whoa. It's a very, very light earnings day today, but here we go. Qorvo, 210 versus 166. That's a big beat. Also a beat on the sales. So top and bottom here for this name. Anything else come out that we want to talk about here? If I see any big names, Aflac maybe coming through as well. Let's just check out what Aflac comes out and says here again. That's MTG. Where did Aflac go? AFL, there it is right here, miss. So EPS 128, misses 145, also a miss top bottom. So AFL, let's go see what AFL is doing. Not too bad, not too bad. Aflac down to 82.75, down 3 and a bit. We're looking at $83 right there for a possible entry for Aflac. So you're already in that. That's the 50-period moving average. Again, I don't know too much about these insurance names or any of that stuff. Aflac is not here in Canada. It doesn't mean we should know about it. But if we're going to play financials, honestly, guys, BRK.B, this stock continues to work. We've got BAC in this name. We've got Wells Fargo in this name. We've got Apple here. Plus insurance companies, including Aflac as well. So Berkshire, a good name. I like this. Despite Warren eventually was going to have to pass it on, they built this name up. They know the trading. It's a good one. Obviously, we've lost Charlie Munger, not this year, but recently. So we'll still hold out for Berkshire. I still really like the name. All right, we had URA the other day. We had Michael Noss come on here, talk a little bit about uranium. The industrials, I know Chris might talk a little bit about industrials. He likes the transports and things like that. But this just goes back to that talk about the markets being held up by technicals, or by tech stocks. That's not true. Industrials are at highs as well. The financials obviously are at highs. Look at XLF, continues to go. I have to take more, man. I don't know if these Apple Watches can count how many words, but we might be on a record. Fabian, can you just move that chair, because then I can see those screens. I can see Chris right there. All right, so again, thank you so much for watching, man. Over 3,800 watching me, but you're sick and tired of me, man. I've already been on for 5 hours. Let's bring on Chris. It's Trader Talk. It's Mr. Chris Brecher. And Chris, I don't know what's up with you, but you look 30 years younger. What did you do?
Just soaked my face in palm olive. I mean, that's what I did in there. But my wife made me shave my head, said that I she was sick of me looking like I was from the beatnik from the 60s.
Yeah, I think I'm getting close to that as well, my guy. Looking sharp, man. Shout out to the wife. We'll go boom for that one. Looking real sharp. Okay, you had some big winners on SMCI. I mean, I want to talk a little bit about, you mentioned to me buying cheap calls. That's kind of what I'm all about too. Let's get some value in here. Let's break down SMCI. What did you see? What were some of the options or calls that you bought? How did you play that? The floor is yours.
All right, we actually played it with puts.
Okay.
So what we were doing, and you only see it, let's say 5 to 10 times an earnings thing, is basically we saw SMCI rally into earnings on a pre-announcement.
Okay.
So our theory was if it opened way up, wait a minute, my dog has to go out. It's really funny that one of my favorite content providers on Simpler has an indicator called the Moxie indicator, and my dog's named Moxie. So give me 1 second.
Sure. Come back to me.
Yeah, sort of cool.
No, I mean, what kind of dog do you have? I have
SM...
first of all, Chris, hold on a second. I have a cockapoo. You can't, like, well, this is my show. This is your show. This is everybody's show. We all want to know what dog, what breed of dog do you have?
It's a half beagle, half retriever.
Okay, so
nice,
50,
nice
pounds?
loud dog that all day will retrieve a ball. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty great. Yeah, mine's just a little girl there. Belle is her name, and yours is Moxie. So, okay, let's go over to back to some trading. Sorry, I talked about calls. It looks like you had some puts. More interesting, in my opinion. Let's go, Chris.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, there are two sides to a market. I know that's corny, but a lot made money in calls in SMCI today. But a lot of what we do is if something pre-announces and then gaps up the next morning, we look to buy cheap puts because a lot of times they widen it out and all the people that took shots and puts give up. So a lot of times you can buy puts out of the money, let's say with a week to go or 2 weeks to go, that even if the stock goes a little higher, they widen the market so much on the opening, you can make money in them. So SMCI was a perfect example. So that day, I don't know if Thinkorswim rewinds like only a day.
That? Did you cover? Are you out of the mall there? Was that same day? Or?
Oh, that was only for an hour.
Oh, okay. So you're
one of those typical day trading mentality, I guess. But let's see if SMCI I can show you. Let's see if it went there.
Do you only trade with calls and puts, Chris, or sometimes you'll put on physical shares or what?
No, I'll trade shares. We have a wheat ETF that we've been long deep in the money call. You could have just bought wheat. WEAT.
Yeah, wheat.
And
wow.
Before you think I'm some genius, it hasn't worked yet. So just to let you know,
we already think you're a genius,
but
regardless.
Yeah, we'll go buy ETFs. I mean, we'll buy, you name it, we'll buy it.
Okay, well, hopefully that's not true of everything.
Corny, but that's what we'll do.
All right, Fisker. You buying Fisker? No, you're not buying Fisker. That's all the way down. All right, so you like to trade with ETFs. As opposed to individual names. I guess that's long story short.
Oh, no, we'll play stocks too, especially like today. We were in IBM.
Okay, let's talk about that.
We shorted IBM, but we bought it too early. We bought puts too early. Stock started going down, but the puts were so out of the money. I was nervous that we'd be right and lose money. So we basically got out. We got out of the options, lost a tiny amount, but we shorted stock and made on that.
Chris, why didn't you message me earlier about this IBM trade? I mean, look at this. Come over here, guys. This is Trader TV live trading, baby. 188. Look how good that was. I don't know how you nailed that. What did you see upside here on IBM today? Because this trade, this is the pre-market here. Once you get white, then that's the intraday. This never went against you. So this is post, this is pre, and that 188.40. I mean, how good was that to the downside? What got you in these IBM puts here, Chris? That was a fantastic call today.
All right, so I know we jumped from SMCI, and I'm sorry about that. All I was going to say is SMCI, some of the February, let's say 450 puts.
Okay.
So they were 100 points out of the money. They opened them like bid $1, offer at $8. and they trade like at $1. So you throw in a low ball bid on those. But getting back to it about IBM, I know a lot ask you about volume, about stock volume, how important. And I don't look at volume that much except with capitulation or breakouts. Now, I wanted to show you this in IBM, and this is why we were short IBM last week. That's a capitulation.
Okay, good.
So you had the up, 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 and then you had the whoosh, just like the opposite of when a stock has a panic sell-off. So that capitulation got us wanting to short, and then we saw this. We saw that if it broke this 186, we had an alert right here. If it broke that, that was it. There was nothing on the way down. Now, we were short from here. So we were short butterflies under the market that we were getting a little nervous, but that capitulation sell-off was it. I mean, rally was it. So like I said, I look very rarely at volume.
We're trying
to, I mean,
Chris,
there you go. There's a capitulation for you.
That's what I was going to identify right there, Chris. Like this is the whole point of this show, right? Is to get traders on like that, like yourself, that have those kind of ideas. Like that is a great indicator right there. That sort of that wick top in IBM, then pulling back down. Like that high was 196 with tons of volume. I really, really like that. And you could have done, I mean, SMCI, similar, right? As you mentioned, blow off the top there, wait for that, and then boom, back down into the downside. So, yeah, good talk there about everything. All right.
Yeah, but I'll show you something really interesting. SMCI, look at that. It didn't have the same capitulation.
Right.
It actually had lower volume than the pre-announcement. That's why we took a quick profit in there.
Okay.
Why IBM, that was such a capitulation, we've been in for 3 days.
That is the word of the day now. It is capitulation. Okay, I'll give you a second here, Chris. Can you call up some Apple, because Apple's come over to my screen. I'll give Chris a second to have a quick load at that. Look, I've just recently bought some. I bought some down here actually at 186. We're all like really happy about it. That was the Apple ban day when they just said, forget about it. We're not worried about this ban. We're just going to keep going. And of course, I'm talking about the blood oxygen sensor. But to be honest with you, this is the daily chart. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 red days in a row for Apple. It was 6 up, it's 6 down. I mean, this looks like, the perfect sort of possible formation to break this bottom of 180. And then we're talking about 160, 165, something there right now. If we don't hold this 200, we're in trouble. I actually am nervous, and I'll talk about a little bit of macro. We had an analyst come out yesterday morning, talk about Apple potentially seeing a slowdown in deliveries in China. That started this sort of move back to the downside. Now we get worries a little bit today. Starbucks down, AMD down, Microsoft down, Google down. So all these Mag 6s, Mag 7, Tesla crushed as well. Are you guys playing Apple at all, or is this let's wait for the quarter, see if we have anything? Because for me personally, I'm not buying any of these dips until we get into the 160s again.
Well, we were playing it right here. I mean, so I'm not saying we bought a short 1 million shares, but we were playing those reversal candles up here. And the key was those indecision candles followed by a decisive follow through to the downside. So we were shorting in there, but fundamentally, there are two big things against Apple. One of them is their PE is the highest almost it's ever been, and it really isn't growing other than buybacks taking out a lot of stock. And the other thing is, because they're not growing, they don't have a lot of cash left on the sideline like they did. So they can't have the buybacks they had. Plus, with short-term interest rates up, they can't really issue bonds to buy back stock, which is what they did for a long time. So you don't have that powder keg of the buybacks under it like you're used to for years, and the high PE. So I totally see what you're talking about when it comes to Apple.
Yep, no, that's a great call there, and thanks for bringing that up. Just about them losing the cash. The buybacks is really what sparked a lot of this. I think that all makes a lot of sense, and I'm just worried about the consumer, because if we're not getting lower rates, which Powell came out and said, look, guys, March is probably not going to happen, I don't think that's a good sign for credit cards, for consumer confidence, so on and so forth. I think a lot of us might have spent a little bit too much money expecting that, hey, maybe we would get to refinance some of the stuff, some of our loans or whatever we have outstanding. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. All right, you just called up Home Depot. If there's anything you want to talk about, Chris, you have basically a minute, and then I got to let you go because we're running short on time.
Now, that's more than my wife gives me. So let me just show you what we're talking about in here. I promised you that when stocks started to have the earnings that had big buybacks, that the 1550 trade would start working a lot better. And I wanted to show you this because we did it today.
Oh, good.
So right here, 1551, 7 billion to sell. So a lot of times on Thinkorswim, this hasn't mattered. But once companies can't buy back, to take the other side of that, look what happened in the last 2 minutes. We bought these. So I'll just show you real quick.
I like this trade. Keep going.
Oh, we bought the 48.50, 48.45, 48.40 put fly for 25 cents.
Jeez.
A minute to go. I sold at $1.35. It closed at $5. But there you go. Of these at 1550 are going to work a lot better than they did when these companies couldn't buy back stock.
And that's why you are Chris Bretcher, and I'll give you more than a minute for stuff like that. You brought that trade to us months and months ago. I'm glad you're still looking at it. And just in case you needed to know, here at Trader TV Live, we have that number before anybody. 451 is late. We get that rate at, or 351. We get that rate at 350. So tune in tomorrow, Chris. We get that every single day as soon as it hits. Look, I want to thank you for coming through again today. That's an awesome trade, man. Whenever you could buy something for 25 cents and get out for $1.30, and then it goes to $5, that's a win for me. It's Chris Bretcher at Simpler Trading. Thank you, Chris.
Hey, thank you for having me on.
Always a pleasure, my guy. Have a good evening. Okay, wow. I mean, that's what we're talking about. I mean, I went on that little bit of a rant about not every trader could be successful. We already know that. I mean, that's like that in everything, right? There's so many people write their CMTs or CFAs or account, you know, they try to get to that. Everyone wants to be a doctor. How many people go to med school and become doctors? I actually don't know the ratio, so I should maybe be quiet on that. But that's the example that I'm giving. We are having professional traders on here. That was a great example right there. Does it always work? No. But when you can get a 3, 4, 5 bagger like that, makes up for the times you lose. Congratulations, Chris, on that. And a lot of the time on the show, it'll seem like you know, we're celebrating and we're being a little less humble. But part of that is so that we can show everybody that this is what trading is. You can make money, and I just feel like to celebrate some wins on the show, we also fail all the time. And I just feel like that's important, that we give you guys both sides, give a little bit of energy into the show. On that note, let's go over and talk about some tweets. All right, shout out to Gunjan. I mean, I've spoken to her. I got to get her on the show. She's not a trader. She's Wall Street Journal, but I feel like a lot of good things here. Look at this. I feel like this is pretty key. Average move on macro event days, right? So we have payroll, that's kind of still in line. This was only from year to year. It looks like right now, as we get more certainty, and I said this to Brendan, and that is that as the market becomes less and less confused about what the Fed is going to do, I'll move this over a little bit, these moves become less and less relevant. Like today, right, here let's go to the FOMC. We knew the market was going, I didn't know it was going to be, but you guys saw what I said. I was short. We were 6 for 6 on this release today. So to me, a lot of expectation there. So 2022, you had a 1.78% average move on FOMC days. This is 2024, I understand that. But now you're going to get less of a move against expectations. We kind of expected that today. The NASDAQ going into the Fed was down 1.6. We finished down 2, right? Where's the NASDAQ right here? Yeah, we finished down 2. So again, up and down, that's fine. But again, less expectations makes it easier to predict said movement. The other thing I want to talk about, obviously, some of the notes that we had there today. Look at this move on Tesla. It finished with us being out right there. So if you're looking to follow somebody, this was the only trade we made on Tesla today. We bought it on VWAP. We talked about that. Fed was already out. We talked about where it could possibly go. Boom to the upside. Held it, 350 winner, out at 192.50. Look where Tesla finished, though, the day. Hold on a second. Oh, look, my layout. All right, so here's my Tesla trading, right? This is live. And some of you say, like, you know, how do we follow you trading? I broke this trade down as I was actually in it. Why did we buy? Again, it doesn't take rocket science to know why we bought that. There's the support right there. We talked about that 188.50 support level. We bought this at 189. This was 70 cents worth of risk to make 350. Let's go. And then there's the breakdown. We actually talked about it not holding 188.50 as well. So you could buy, but you got to get out. Sometimes you don't want to hold forever. Another good example of that would be Microsoft, right? Oh man, way too many executions. Long. But then finally, we had a nice trade. It's too bad we have these wicks, but these were our 401 buys, right? This out right there is 404. Sorry, 403.80. We talked about that before it went all the way to the downside. So you can hold trades until you can't anymore. Let's just have a quick look at where the sticky note lies, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Thank you so much for watching again today. It's been a big day. Today, Fed today at 2 p.m. with a little bit of a star there. Short Intel. Man, we made some good money on Intel into the Fed there. Long Google, 138, 140. Let's just have a quick look at what Google wind up doing today, GOGLE. I don't think we were in this at all today, really, to be honest with you. No, we were not, so no fills on Google today. Time's up. But yeah, there's that 140. Look at that, man. That was great all day long until the end. So that 140 was a good fill. We didn't even break it yet. So I feel like we were okay on that call. Microsoft long. We talked about trying to go long around 404. That turned out to be a key level, but the long was never really in for Microsoft today unless you bought those 401s and 402s, which, if you look down here, wait for 400. We talked about that right there. If it breaks 400, it's a short. $3. It just happened afterwards. There it is right there. And then AMD. Look, if you're not part of Sticky Note Nation, you know, I mean, AMD, and again, we have to be careful what we say because not everybody on the show trades AMD all the time. But AMD was the #1 profitable name today, period. Morning show, midday show, afternoon show. Not only did we hit it again. Shorting right there at the end of the day, 169.50. My last out is 167.82. Look, thank you for watching again, man. I'm going to be back every single day. We put a lot of effort into this show. Not only are we putting out this sticky note, but we're trading for you live every single day. We're putting on these positions, and I just want to thank everybody for sticking with us. It's #TradersStayLate. Please continue to do that with me. Again, thank you so much. You thought today's show was good. Yesterday's was good. Tomorrow's going to be our best show of all time. We've got Apple. We've got Meta. Apple, Meta. Which one am I missing? Apple, Meta. Oh, no. Now I forget. It's the other big one. What's the other one? It's not NVIDIA. Hold on a second. Someone in the chat will save me right now. It's not Qualcomm. What is it? I'm not letting everybody go until I see what this was. Yes, tomorrow it's Apple, it's Meta. We had Microsoft, Google, AMD today. There's one more that I'm missing. What is it? Amazon, hello. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat. We're going to do roll call one more time. My bad on that one. Thank you so much. It's Amazon. Whoever said Amazon, you're going to get shut out first. Todd, man, what's up? What's up, Farley, man? What's up, Najan? I like Amazon. That's another name that we could possibly buy on dips. What's up, Corleone? Apollo there. We Grow. NG. Anderson. You're all here. Meta, Amazon, Apple. That's right. The biggest and the best report tomorrow. We'll see if we can hold it. Hey, how about this? Neil may not be here tomorrow. I see Obi putting on his jacket. It'll be my pleasure to trade with LB tomorrow. It's going to be Amazon. It's the day before earnings. They come tomorrow night. Will Obi be in Amazon? I can guarantee you we'll probably both be, but you won't be able to find out until tomorrow when we start trading live again. It's 8:30 tomorrow. It's Trader TV Live. I'm Shawn Catena. Go follow me at Trader TV Shawn on all the platforms. I'll catch everyone tomorrow. Ciao.